And hello everybody, welcome back to LFC News. I hope you are all well. Today we've got an action-packed video. We are going to be discussing quite a lot of Liverpool news. That does include our headline, of course, as an attacker deal has broken down. So we will be discussing that. We're also going over what Arne Slot said ahead of the Burnley match against Mo Salah. So yeah, quite a few bits and pieces to go over. But of course, Premier League action does resume after a bit of a break from the league, with obviously the FA Cup. But yes, Premier League, absolutely imperative that we do try and find a bit of a winning streak as we look to try and chase those Champions League spaces. And of course, Burnley is the opposition for tomorrow. Guys, let's go through all of the latest Liverpool news, but first please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, first things first, and this is Arne Slot talking about Mo Salah. Let's have a watch.
Now, first of all, he needs to play another big game for Egypt on Saturday, and then he comes back to us, and I'm happy that he comes back because similar to Andy, Mo has been so important for this club, for me. So I'm happy that that he's back, because it's even if I had 15 attackers, I still would have been happy if he would have come back. But that's not our current situation. So. Happy to have him back after an important game that he still has to play.
An important game again for you guys. 11 games unbeaten now. What's the next step that you feel you have to take now?
No, ideally it's not 11 games unbeaten, it's 11 wins in a row. That's always where you're aiming for, if that is realistic. It might be for some teams. I think Villa won a lot of games in a row. But from where we were when we conceded the fourth goal against PSV, and then where we are now, I think we're in a much better place. But there's still enough room for improvement. But that room for improvement was there also last season, when we were top of the league and top of the Champions League in this period of time.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Look, the unbeaten run's good, but it's probably, I said the other week that it seems as though it's like the worst unbeaten run ever, to be perfectly honest. As a Liverpool, it should be winning streaks, really. Unbeaten runs are great, but the amount of draws that have been in there, thrown in the mist, we need some wins, and that's the reality. But guys, it does seem as though there isn't a development with regard to Federico Chiesa. This has been sort of the main story, as the Italian clubs have been probing for his services. There was developments that Juventus really wanted to bring the player in. Napoli were also monitoring the player as well. But essentially, it does seem as though Liverpool were on the side of, yes, they would let Chiesa go if it was a permanent transfer. Juventus were more on the sort of side that, well, they only wanted to do a loan move. So it did seem a bit of a conflict of interest there. However, the latest update we've got with regard to this is that Juventus have explored Federico Chiesa, but Liverpool are asking for around 15 million euros and only for a permanent deal. Chiesa's salary is high, and the overall cost makes the operation very complicated. Initial inquiries were made, but there have been no further contacts in recent days. So that does seem as though that comes from Matteo Moretto, really reputable Italian journalist. So it does seem as though that Chiesa will be staying put unless another club throws their hat in the ring. Maybe watch the space with regard to Napoli. But I think a lot of Liverpool fans like Chiesa. I think we need to unleash Chiesa a bit more. I'm a big fan of him. But yeah, Juventus doesn't look like they're going to be reunited with them this January transfer window. In other news, Arne Slot has welcomed the timely return of Wataru Endo from injury, as Liverpool continue to juggle limited defensive options, with Dominik Szoboszlai once again being asked to fill in at right back, a solution that suits neither the player nor the head coach. Endo's inclusion in the matchday squad for the FA Cup win over Barnsley raised eyebrows, given Slot had explained in his pre-match briefing that the Japan international had not yet returned to full training. Having missed the previous 7 matches with an ankle injury, Endo was clearly short of match sharpness, but his availability nonetheless offered Slot a much-needed alternative at a time when Liverpool's squad depth is being stretched to its limits. The context is crucial. Conor Bradley's season-ending injury has left Liverpool dangerously light at right back, and with no January reinforcements expected, Slot has been forced into improvised solutions. One of those has been deploying Szoboszlai in a defensive role, something the Liverpool head coach is keen to avoid wherever possible. Speaking after the Barnsley win, Slot directly referenced Endo's return while addressing Szoboszlai's continued use at full-back, admitting that creativity may be required as the season wears on. It's good to have Wata back as well, because you can see another time Dominik Szoboszlai had to play in the full-back position, and that might not be for the last time this season, Slot told All Red Video. Although I favour him in the midfield, and I think he favours himself in midfield, but sometimes if you have no other options, you need to be creative. That admission underlines a growing concern. Szoboszlai's energy, technical quality, and ball progression are far more valuable in midfield, and Slot is acutely aware that using him in defence blunts Liverpool's attacking rhythm. Yet necessity, rather than preference, has dictated recent selections, while Endo is not the first name that comes to mind when covering the right side of defence. With Jeremy Frimpong, Joe Gomez, Szoboszlai himself, and even Curtis Jones previously preferred. His versatility does offer Slot an additional layer of cover. Endo can operate across the back line in emergencies and also provide defensive stability in midfield, making him a useful option as Liverpool attempt to manage workloads and injuries. This season has been a frustrating one for the 32-year-old. Endo has logged just 223 minutes in all competitions, including only 2 starts, the lowest tally among established first-team players, with only teenager Trey Naoni registering fewer minutes. Despite being named in 21 of Liverpool's previous 22 matchday squads prior to his injury at Leeds, Slot has largely been reluctant to lean on him. However, circumstances may now force a reassessment. Endo had trained just once before the Barnsley match, yet Slot's unprompted mention of him suggests the midfielder is firmly back in the manager's thoughts. With Bradley sidelined and the margin for error shrinking, Slot may need to widen his pool of trusted options. Slot also made clear the wider impact of Bradley's injury, both on the player and the squad. It's an enormous blow for Connor Bradley, but as a result of that, it's a big blow for us as well, he said. I hope that you don't think I would like to play Dominik Szoboszlai as a right full back. Liverpool currently have only 6 fit senior defenders, though Calvin Ramsey remains available and is expected to stay put rather than depart on loan. Even so, the numbers are tight, and with reports suggesting no January business is planned, the burden is likely to fall on midfielders to plug gaps as the campaign progresses. In that context, Endo's return, even at less than full fitness, could prove quietly significant. While he may not be a long-term solution at right back, his presence gives Slot another tool as he navigates a difficult period, balances risk, and tries to keep Liverpool competitive on multiple fronts without compromising the strengths of his key players. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.